Hello, everybody. This is This Day in History. So I had inadvertently deleted the video for September 1st. So I'm having to redo it now. So this is This Day in History for September 1st, 2024. As you know, it's not about the year, but about the magic of the day. So we're just going to get right into it, okay? So, first birthday for September 1st is 1875, American novelist Edgar Rice Burroughs. He's known for his work, you would know it as Tarzan. So, he wrote Tarzan. So, yeah. 1902, Carlo Gambino, who's an American crime boss. He was born on this day in 1902. On this day in 1923, Rocky Marciano, he was an American boxer, born the same year as my grandmother. He was a boxer in the 50s, died real young. Actually, he died in a plane crash, and he had just retired from boxing because he wanted to have a full life with his family. His wife just had a baby there recently, I think, and so he wanted to be around for his wife and baby, and unfortunately he was in a plane crash and was killed. I've heard that he was actually decapitated in that plane crash, which is unfortunate. I've seen some clips of him in his boxing. He was a good boxer. 1935, Seiji Ozawa, who was a Japanese American conductor, born on this day. Alan Dershowitz, an American lawyer, was born on this day in 1938. And Phil McGraw, Dr. Phil himself, American psychologist, born in 1950. So, yeah, those are the birthdays. This day in history for September 1st, 1838, American frontiersman William Clark died. That's of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Clark. 1864, Charlottetown Conference convened that formed the Dominion of Canada in Prince Edward Island. So it is on this day in 1864 that the nation now known as Canada was formed under this this conference that they had in 1864. 1870, French army suffered a decisive defeat at the Battle of Sedan in the Franco-German War. This led to the fall of the French Second Empire. In 1914, the last known passenger pigeon died in the Cincinnati Zoo. 1923, we're going back to the year my grandmother was born. There was a great earthquake that struck Tokyo. Yokohama metro area was affected, and the death toll was estimated at 142,800. In 1930, the Young Plan went into effect, and basically what the Young Plan was is it was a renegotiation of Germany's World War I reparation payments, and basically it led to them not ever having to make any more reparations to their neighboring countries for the devastation wrought from the effects of World War I. In 1951, Australia, New Zealand, and the United States, they signed the ANZUS Pact. And essentially what that pact was that anything that happens in that corner of the world, those three nations will rally to the defense of the other. So, for instance, if something happens to Australia, New Zealand and America steps up. Something happens to New Zealand, Australia and the United States step up. Something happens to the United States, Pacific territories like Guam. I imagine if something happened were to happen in the Philippines, that would affect our Marines there, or Hawaii, or our Marine base in Okinawa, for instance. That not only would the United States respond, but New Zealand and Australia would too. So that's part of the ANZUS Act, or ANZUS Pact, I should say. In 1952, Life magazine had published Ernest Hemingway's Old Man and the Sea. It was the last major work of fiction that he'd ever complete. As I recall, I believe he died sometime later. That work was released as a book and won a Pulitzer Prize in 1953. 1954, the movie Rear Window had opened up in American theaters. It was an Alfred Hitchcock directed movie. It starred James Stewart and Grace Kelly. Pardon me. 1969, there was a group of young army officers led by Muammar Gaddafi that deposed the Libyan king, and as a result of this coup, it made Libya into a republic run by Muammar Gaddafi himself. 1972, Bobby Fischer defeated Boris Spassky to become the first native-born American to ever hold the title of World Chess Champion. In 1980, due to poor health, Canadian activist Terry Fox forced to end his Marathon of Hope. So he was an activist athlete. He was going to partake in a marathon that would run coast to coast in Canada, and it was to raise awareness for cancer. Unfortunately, his bid to run across Canada for this cancer research, for the raising of money, cancer research, it came short. He was hospitalized. It was later discovered that he himself had cancer that had spread to his lungs, and so the marathon that he wanted to do coast to coast in Canada in 1980 was put off because of this ailment, and unfortunately he died in 1981 from his cancer, unfortunately. 1985, an American oceanographer, Robert Ballard, found the Titanic on the ocean floor at the depth of 13,000 feet, or 4 kilometers. 2004, Chechen rebels, they seized a school in Beslan. Beslan is in North Ossetia, Russia. The siege, so they take over the school. They lay siege. It ends 2 days later, resulting in the deaths of more than 330 people, and the majority of them were children. So it's a situation where Chechens are fighting for their homeland against the Russians, but they themselves are engaged in mass wholesale slaughter themselves, and they end up becoming the evil that they, in their minds, that they're trying to fight. So yeah, not good. So the featured event of the day is obviously September 1st, and what is synonymous with September 1st? Well, September 1st, 1939 is the day that World War II broke out. That is when Germany invaded Poland. So Germany's invasion of Poland consisted of a lethal combination of the German Blitzkrieg. It also had helped that the French and the British were lackadaisical and they didn't do anything due to their inactivity and not keeping the pressure on Germany to adhere to the adhere to the reparations that they'd owed their neighboring nations due to the fallout of World War II or World War One, excuse me. They were also ordered to not militarize, and the fact that the French and the British didn't hold them accountable to that allowed them to actually militarize to the point where they militarized right under the nose of Neville Chamberlain. And it was one of those things where they had a full mechanized army ready to go. They instituted Blitzkrieg, which Blitzkrieg is basically you fly your planes over, you bomb the crap out of your target, you soften it up, then you roll in there with armor to pound the crap out of anything that might be left, and then you mop up with the infantry behind it. It was actually a tactic that the British had considered, but they, for whatever reason, they didn't think it was a useful tactic, and so they dismissed it. But the Germans took it and ran with it. So between the very effective Blitzkrieg, France and Britain not being effective in holding accountability over Germany, and Soviet perfidy doomed Poland from the very beginning. So September 1st, Germany rolls in from the west, and they pacify Poland in 6 weeks. That's how long it took the United States to kick Iraq out of Kuwait back in 91. Obviously, this event would spark World War II. It's also noted that it would be later in the month of September that due to the non-aggressive pact that Germany had with Russia, that Russia would actually come in from the east and soften up Poland on its eastern front. So Poland really got squeezed, which led to the Polish government fleeing to Romania, and the Germans taking over Poland, and part of that was taken up by the Russians as well. So, but the thing is, 6 years later, Germany would feel the pinch of what they did to Poland, which is kind of ironic, really, or maybe it's a bit of foreshadowing. So Germany and Russia beat up on Poland and forced them into capitulation. As it would happen 6 years later, the Allies would be moving in from the west, Russia would be moving in from the east. They would squeeze Germany, and Berlin is lost to the Allied forces. So it's a little bit of foreshadowing there that what Germany and Russia did to Poland would be repaid back onto Germany 6 years later. 5.5 years later, something like that. But at any rate, so this is like I said, this is a replacement video for September 1st because I had inadvertently deleted it. It was really weird. I'm looking at YouTube and I had all these videos posted, but then it looked like these same videos were being still being processed. Well, I was like, well, these are these are repeats, so I could just go ahead and delete them. Well, I deleted September 1st, not realizing that, I don't know, YouTube was just being YouTube, and so I deleted it, not realizing that I already deleted all of those videos off of my phone to make room for more videos. So unfortunately, it's out of place, out of sequence, but here's September 1st. So take care, be well, And the next video you see will be the next video that should be in line or something. I don't know. It'd be nice if YouTube would just automatically, put everything in chronological order based on title, because I'll title this as September 1st, so you would think that they put it right before September 2nd, but it might be out of out of sequence there, and I apologize to you, my viewers. It is what it is. So take care, be well, be blessed, and we'll chat with you soon.